everyone, it's Julie here, your pet grief specialist. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how hypnosis can make processing your pet grief easier and gentler and help you through the process more quickly than counselling alone. When I first get inquiries from clients, quite often one of the first things they say is, well, why hypnosis? What's different about that? And they have questions like, can I be hypnotized? Does it work online, or do I have to see you face to face? Things like that. Hypnosis helps the grief process because it helps you to bypass the critical part of the brain that's always questioning things. So for instance, you may have had an experience where perhaps one day you think, right, today I'm not going to get upset. Today I'm going to feel better. I'm going to be stronger. And maybe you stand up in front of the mirror and say, I'm going to be stronger. And you really, really mean it. But there's always that little voice. Yeah, but what if? What if you see another dog that looks the same as yours? What if somebody says something unkind, like just get another cat? Or, well, it was only a budgie. How am I going to be? What if somebody at work says something? And straight away, you're getting into this anxious mode. By doing the process through hypnosis, we can overcome that. So, what it's likely to be like for you, I mean, it's different for everybody. Hypnosis is different for everybody, and you'll feel differently. But the way the process works is I will ask you to get comfortable somewhere where you're not likely to be disturbed either by another family member, somebody needing your attention, somewhere where you can just sit quietly and calmly, and to be able to put your phone or your laptop or tablet in a position where I can see your face. Most people close their eyes because it's more comfortable, but if you really want to, you can leave your eyes open and just stare up at a spot on the ceiling so you're not distracted by anything else in the room. You remain in complete control, so I can't make you run around like a chicken, get your PIN number out of you, make you reveal deep dark secrets unless you really want to. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. And you'll be aware of any noises around you, so you'll hear my voice and a bit of music. But if a fire engine goes by outside, or you hear somebody knocking on the door or ringing the bell or a car engine revving, you will be aware of all those kinds of sounds. And sometimes people worry and think, oh, maybe it's not working, because they think they're going to be in some kind of bubble. Because when you see it on the TV, that's what it looks like, and really is not like that at all. It's more like if you can drive and you've done the same journey over and over and over again, and one day you do the journey, think, oh, I don't remember going past that set of lights or that building, because you're on kind of autopilot. But if somebody had ran out in front of you, you'd have been able to stop. But just in that moment, it's like you're on autopilot, and that's what it feels like when you're in hypnosis for most people. Some people feel very relaxed. Other people feel that they're very alert. You might find that your conscious mind starts to wander, so you start thinking, oh, wonder what time this is going to finish. Did I remember to get the chicken out the freezer? All those kind of incidental thoughts that will just float in and out, and that's absolutely fine, because I'll be dealing with your subconscious, which we'll talk about in a minute. You're fine to go about your business afterwards. You don't come out of it and feel like a zombie or anything like that. You can go and get in your car and drive. You can go and do whatever you need to do afterwards. Most people find, because it is a pet grief session, that it is very emotional. And that's good, because you want to let the emotions out. The idea is not to stifle them, not to push them down or push them away, is to let them out, and for you to be able to say your most loving goodbye, but in a very gentle, easy way. So, a little bit about the mind. My high-tech bit of equipment here. So if we think of the mind as having two parts, so you've got the conscious mind, which is like the top of the iceberg, and that's the piece that most people are aware of and you can see, and that's got all your logical things, all your conscious thoughts, everything that you deliberately think of is like a conscious decision. So it's your logic, it's where you look, listen, learn, analyse, criticise, it's your common sense, willpower, judgment, short-term memory, and all those kinds of things like that. Now, I said your willpower, but the problem with willpower is you have to think about the thing you're trying to avoid. So if I said you do not think of a giant blue banana, whatever you do, don't think of a giant blue banana. What have you just thought of? Yeah, I bet it's a giant blue banana, because that's the way the brain works. In order not to think of something, we have to think of it first. So that's why when you sit there thinking, I'm not going to get upset, all your brain really hears is upset, upset. It doesn't really recognise the not very well at all. Then we've got the most powerful part of our mind, the unconscious or subconscious mind. And we very rarely pay deliberate attention. And your unconscious or subconscious mind has got infinite memory from the moment you were born. Every single experience you've ever had filed away in kind of huge database or a library, and it sends up on a daily basis what you need to get by. So for instance, if you've ever seen a little child learning to walk and they're wobbling about and they stumble and they plop down and they haven't worked out how to get up, they're learning that, and they're learning that consciously. But most people, when they just walked in the room and sat down and put on their phone or their laptop, they weren't thinking about what their feet were doing. They just did it automatically because it's a learned behaviour. And that makes the brain much more efficient. But the problem with that is that the brain can also learn things that are not that helpful. So it can learn things like men don't cry. Perhaps you've always been brought up with men don't cry. Or it's better to have a stiff upper lip and not to show your feelings and be strong. It doesn't help. All you're doing is suppressing that emotion, and eventually it's going to come out somewhere. So it's much better if you can just release them very gently in a controlled environment and say your most loving goodbye to your pet in a hypnosis session. Now, I do use a little bit of grief counselling as well in there. Sometimes it's in hypnosis and sometimes it's before or afterwards. And there will be some mental exercises to do in between your sessions. So things like how you can imagine, or it might involve writing a letter to your pet or something like that. Every client is different. So because of that, every session is different. But that just gives you an outline of what you can expect if you go for the pet grief program and how hypnosis can really help you. It would be easy to say, oh no, I don't want hypnosis, I don't like any of that. That's not me at all. Some people say, oh, my mind's too strong. What if my mind's too strong to be hypnotized? That's usually based on fear. And as soon as you explain to people that actually the strongest minds get hypnotized the best, and there's nothing to be afraid of, because I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. Like I've already said, I can't make you do anything against your religious beliefs or against your own personal principles. All it is a way for you to be able to say your most loving goodbye to your pet in an easy and comfortable way. Some people worry about, oh, maybe I can get stuck in it. Well, you can't get stuck in hypnosis, and stories that people do get stuck in it are usually people that are on some remote island somewhere that no one's ever been able to contact just to verify. Or sometimes it's people's personality types that can affect how well or how easily they go into hypnosis. So somebody with a logical sense, I would put them into hypnosis in a different way to somebody who's got a very outgoing and lively and that kind of personality, because they would get bored if I did it in the same way that I used for the more analytical person. So every client is different, every pet's different that they've had, the circumstances different, the personality is different, and everything is completely unique to you. So when you book your initial consultation, we'll go through all this kind of thing so that we know together we can put together the program that is exactly right for you. And that's how hypnosis can help you with your pet grief. If you've got any more questions, you can message me on the Facebook page, or you can drop me a line, anything like that. Then the email address is on there. You can leave a comment under the video, and you can also click a link at the top that will book you in for the free initial consultation. So I hope that's answered some of your questions that you might have had about how on earth can hypnosis help you during your pet grief. Because it really, really can, and it can make it so much easier for you, so much gentler for you, so you don't have to live with the constant guilt, the constant anger, the doubt, did you do the right thing? You can just release all that kind of emotion. Your fur baby, your pet, wouldn't want you to be unhappy. They wouldn't want you to be crying all the time, and it's all right to miss them. But you don't need to have this overwhelming sorrow that's affecting your day-to-day life. Together we can sort that out. Have a look at some of the other videos and see if some of the techniques, like the tapping techniques or the breathing techniques, maybe they'll help you if you prefer to do something like that. But don't just keep suffering. Have a look through and see what you can find out that's going to help you. And I'll see you in one of the other videos. Bye.